Make the most of your Walt Disney World vacation.
The top 6 Walt Disney World attractions that might make you sick. Hi, I'm Herb Leibacher, and welcome to episode number 115 of the World of Walt podcast. Make the most of your Walt Disney World vacation for the week of April 23rd, 2017. This is the podcast for Walt Disney World fans, whether you're planning your next trip or just enjoy reliving a little bit of Disney magic. Disney is known for family-friendly attractions that everyone can enjoy together. Still, Disney has plenty of thrills to offer, and not every attraction is a fit for every guest. In fact, some attractions might just make you sick, and who wants to be sick on their vacation? So today we're going to take a look at the top 6 attractions that might make you sick. To help me explore this topic, I'd like to welcome the man with the steel stomach, Johnny Shortsleeve. Johnny, welcome back.
And when you say it's not like abs of steel, it's more like a turtle shell, I'd say. Like nice round. Yeah, very proud when I walk down the street, stick my turtle shell out.
But it's all muscle though, right? It's all muscle.
Yeah, it's from eating a lot of muscle. Eating a lot of flesh of cow, unfortunately. Thank you, Herb. Thank you for having me on again. I always have such a blast hanging out with you and talking about this stuff, so I really appreciate the chance to come back. Thank you.
It's fun, and I love your take on all things Disney, so I'm looking forward to this one especially. But before we get into it, the beloved warm-up question for today is favorite show at Disney's Hollywood Studios?
Favorite show? Well, you know, a podcast with you, Herb, wouldn't be a podcast with me as a guest if I didn't lose some man points somewhere along the line with some revelation. So I'm going to just give you my knee-jerk reaction. The first thing that came to mind, which is like a traditional show that you would see on the Times Guide at Hollywood Studios. I'm going to say Disney Junior Live on Stage. Did you guess that one? Did you think I was going to say it?
I would not have guessed that. I need to pick up my jaw from the floor.
Nailed it.
Wow.
So here's why. Let me tell you why. My kids just go crazy for the show. They have so much fun. They're clapping, they're singing, they're getting up and dancing. Especially little Squirt, my little 18-month-old. He loves this show so much. My older kids, they love it too. It's great. Even though they've seen it a handful of times, it's not a big deal to them. They still love it. It's like you think about movies. Kids will watch a movie 17,000 times. They know every line, but they still like it, and they want to experience it and be a part of it. So I am one of those people who doesn't believe in saying something is a one and done at Disney World. There's always something new to experience or some new little thing to see that you didn't really pick up on before. The one little caveat about it is I always have to make friends there when we're sitting on the floor there at that show. Like I'll just start chatting it up with the folks around me beforehand, and I want to like scope them out. Like say, all right, which one is going to be the one that's going to be cool with me at the end of the show asking them for help up because my legs have fallen asleep. Because for a massive man like myself, you get down there and your ham hocks fall asleep. There's nothing you can do. I feel like I'm going to stumble and smash one of my kids when I fall over because I can't get up. But other than that, like if it had regular seating, that would be like my one dream wish list for Disney Junior Live on Stage. I know why they don't do it. I understand it, but still a fun show. Still love it, even though it wrecks my blood circulation in my lower region.
I think it's probably okay to sprawl out on the carpet, and you could even ask the younger children to sort of walk on your back, I think. So I think you're okay in doing that.
Yeah, it's a show, man. It's a real scene. I would not be shocked if somewhere on YouTube there's a fail video of me, somebody filmed trying to get up after sitting on the floor for half an hour.
You know, I've seen it a couple times, and I've got to say it's a thrill to see so many little kids having so much fun. They're just jumping and clapping and just having the time of their lives. It's a lot of fun. Even if maybe you don't track with the storyline of the show itself, you could enjoy the audience enjoying the show.
Absolutely. I agree 100% with you on that, Herb. What about you? What's your favorite show?
So at Disney's Hollywood Studios, there are so many to choose from, but I'm actually going to maybe take a riff on yours, and I'm going to go over and take a look at the Jedi Training Academy, because anytime you put a bunch of kids on stage and give them sticks and encourage them to hit, something fun is bound to happen. It's all very safe and it's all very organized. But the kids, you just don't know what to expect, and some of them are very serious, and some of them kind of go off script a little bit. But it's fun to watch. So with so many good shows at Disney's Hollywood Studios, you're not going to go wrong. So Beauty and Beast live on stage, or the Frozen sing along. There, Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular. There's so many to choose from. But I just sort of like you never know what you're going to get when you watch the Jedi Training Academy.
Well, speaking of Star Wars and never knowing what you're going to get, what's the new one that they do on the stage in front of Great Movie Ride? The name of it is escaping me. The stage show where they have the Star Wars characters do the processional, the stormtroopers do the processional up Hollywood Boulevard.
Yes, I know what you mean.
Whatever it is. So one day, it was going on. The show was going on. It was me and my three kids, and we were walking behind the stage, like in front of the Great Movie Ride. And I was kind of for a second wondering why there was no one around. And then all of a sudden, the pyro went off, like right next to us. It scared me to death. I thought for sure like it was an explosion. Well, it was an explosion, but I thought it was like a bomb going off, because literally I was probably, I don't know, a couple dozen yards from the charges when they went off for that show.
Yeah.
And then I look over, like my kids they're all panicking. That that's how kids react with loud noises like that. And then I look up, and all the cast members are saying they have like their fingers plugging their ears. And I'm thinking, how about you throw me a bone? Like, you see me walking with these kids over there, and you're over there securing your eardrums. What about me? What about them? How about being a little less selfish?
See, the good thing about a stormtrooper helmet is you can't see what expression is on their face as they're looking at you. So, I'm sure they all had concerned looks. And
these weren't even the stormtroopers. These were like the regular plainclothes cast members with the khakis. No stormtrooper helmets for them.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, and you'd probably be wise to have your hearing checked. And there could be a lawsuit in there for you. I don't know. Just think about it.
Yeah, well, we learned good when that show's going on, going the other side of the park. We got hit with all the shrapnel too. That paper mache that shoots out of those things, however that stuff explodes.
Yeah,
it started raining down on us, and I thought, it's got to be toxic. Like, we're probably inhaling particulates and getting. There's black lung for the coal miners, the sparkly lung for the fireworks.
Oh man, sparkly lung disease. Yeah, we're gonna start seeing commercials for that on TV. So.
For the lawyers, like when in the middle of Ricky Lake, I don't even know if that's even on TV anymore. But daytime TV.
Yeah.
Have you been at Disney World lately? Did you go there on vacation? How about, did you breathe any of those firework particulates?
You could be suffering from sparkly lung disease.
Yeah, it could be a new business venture.
Oh, man.
Time to get my law degree.
Make the world a better place.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, we should just shut off the recording right now and go home, because I don't think it's possible.
If it wasn't so expensive, I'd drop it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Amazon wants some more business. But the show must go on, so we've got to talk about the actual topic for today after I clear the tears away. 6 Walt Disney World attractions that might make you sick. And number 1 is over to you, Johnny.
Okay. Well, you know me. I think I come up with stuff that some people probably when they hear the intro and they hear me, I'm like, shutting this episode off. This guy just comes nothing with. He brings nothing but garbage to the list here. I'm going to start with Kilimanjaro safaris in Disney's Animal Kingdom, and here's why. It's a real roll of the dice. It depends on who's driving the truck. So you have, and it depends on the time of day. It depends on how much traffic is going on in the actual attraction itself. So, if it's a real busy time of the day, or if it's a time when the animal's a little more active and they're clogging up the pathway for the vehicles, they tend to go slower. If it's a quieter time, like in the afternoon, when there's not as many guests that are on the attraction, not as many animals roaming around, they have some empty real estate where they can go. I don't know. For some reason, some of those cast members, they feel like they want to have some fun and really herky-jerky the gas pedal. And you're just bouncing back and forth, up and down. And, they're probably having fun. But you know what it is? When you're driving a car and you have the steering wheel to hold on to, yeah, it's fun to bounce the car around and have a little bit of a good time. But when you're not even buckled in the seatbelt, there's nothing there holding you in.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to juggle my kids and make sure they don't fly out of the vehicle. It gets a little tiring because I'm looking around side to side, going up and down, hitting my head, bouncing my knees, apologizing to everyone around me. And it's easy to catch a little motion sickness on that one. And I love doing that. I love the Kilimanjaro Safari. I think it's done so well. The animals are so fun to sit there and watch, and my kids love it. It's a great educational experience. But I just kind of wish it was like Mission Space, where they had like one lane. Yeah, we're gonna get fun and go crazy with the gas pedal and make you feel like you're really going nuts. And the other lane is for the softies like me. Okay, we're just gonna slowly crawl over these bumps, and we're gonna speak very quietly. That's my choice.
Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, you can definitely get a herky-jerky ride on Kilimanjaro safaris. And when they have those warning signs where, do not ride if you have back issues or if you are pregnant or may be pregnant, those signs need to be there because sometimes you can really get jostled around on this attraction. And you're right that it's not a guarantee. You could go and maybe you're going to get the nice slow crawl through the safari. Or maybe there's going to be a little bit wide open territory and you're going to get the bouncy edition. You just don't know. But if you get the bouncy edition, you're going to get tossed around a little bit.
Yeah, I was on it one time and I heard there was an audible sound of my neck having an adjustment. Like I was thinking, did I snap my neck? Was this a good one or a bad one? You don't like hearing those noises from your neckle region.
Yeah.
And I thought, all right, well, I'm still breathing and I'm still upright. I haven't collapsed. I'm probably okay. That's like a free adjustment they gave me. No chiropractor needed.
Yeah, you're lucky there wasn't an upcharge for that, actually.
I know. But, that's how they could do it. They could put a chiropractor instead of a gift shop at the end of some of these rides.
Exactly.
Yeah, just to make sure you're all in alignment so you can enjoy the rest of your vacation.
We'll mess you up, then we'll fix you up.
All right, Disney is just they got to listen to this, Herb, right? They got to be listening to this.
And I'm sure their pencils and papers are out constantly.
Major money they could be printing off of these ideas.
Yes, folks, that's Johnny Shortsleeve. So the commission checks can go to him.
Idea dude.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, that's a good one. Okay, Kilimanjaro Safari is number one. So number two, I'm going to go over to Epcot, and any attraction that has air sickness bags in the attraction vehicle belongs on this list. And of course, I am talking about Mission Space. So Mission Space, 4 minutes of centrifuge fun, where 4 different arms with 10 capsules with 4 people each go hurling into space. I personally like Mission Space. I like the more extreme as opposed to the less extreme. I'm an orange team kind of guy. But this is definitely not one for everyone. If you don't like dark and enclosed spaces, which they warn you about many times, if you don't like spinning, it may be time to bypass this mission and go check out Mission Control. But for those of you who do like a thrill, Mission Space is definitely one of the best in the park. Interestingly, people have gone to the hospital after this. A few people actually have very sadly died, although they had pre-existing conditions. So those warning messages are not to be taken lightly. But for most everyone, if you're in good health, if you don't mind spinning, if you don't mind being locked into a little tiny closet for 4 minutes, it is a thrill. Mission Space.
So we just had the idea a second ago at the end of the attraction to have a chiropractor, charged for that, of course. Mm-hmm. At the beginning of Mission Space, cardiologist.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, they hook you up,
get your
stress
EKG,
test,
yeah.
EKG, a little blood work maybe.
Yeah,
just to make sure. I mean, and charge a premium, of course.
Of course.
Because, I mean, this is your life you're talking about here.
You can't be too safe. That's for sure.
No. And then, of course, that way you give you a little more peace of mind. Yep, I'm healthy enough. If I rolled up there, which I never would, I've sworn this attraction off. It just scared the crap out of me, and I did get insanely sick on it. I think I'd be scared at what I would see from that cardiologist report. Like, your gravy levels are too high, sir. We can't let you on this ride.
It could be an upsell opportunity. So, yep, Mission Space. Like I say, any attraction that has built-in air sickness bags, you better think twice to make sure you're okay with it.
I wonder if they could also another charge opportunity, sell astronaut diapers so that you can, strap up in case you get a little scared. You never know. You should change the name of this podcast, This shouldn't be The World of Walt. This should be how to make more money, Disney. Listen up.
It's the Disney Upsell Opportunity Podcast, brought to you by Johnny Shortsleeve.
Why are they not doing this stuff? Golden opportunities.
Yeah, well, good ideas never die at Disney. It's not that they're not going to do it; it's just they're not going to do it now. So yeah.
Well, I think these ideas are on life support. They need to do something. Hurry up.
Give it some time. It's okay. All right, that was number 2, Mission Space. Number 3, Johnny, back over for you.
All right, so I don't think this one is ultra controversial. Some people may hear it and say, this guy is a total wimp if he thinks this one's going to make him sick. It's the Astro Orbiter in the Magic Kingdom in Tomorrowland. On paper, it shouldn't make you that sick. It's just spinning around in a circle. Very much like Dumbo, very much like Aladdin's magic carpets in Adventureland. Mm-hmm. Here's what I think is different about this one to me. Number one, there's a tilting thing that goes on as you go up. So instead of just going up and straight up and spinning around and you're parallel to the ground, you're tilted slightly. So that changes your perspective and things what's going on in your equilibrium. And then secondly, it's the height thing. Yeah. Because what happens is inevitably when I ride this, I will try to focus on the ability that I can see out for miles around, and I can see things like the Polynesian and the Contemporary and some other things that are high above in the Magic Kingdom. So instead of focusing on one spot, which can be a trick that some people use to not get motion sickness, I'm looking all over the place. Like, ooh, that's neat. Oh, wow, look over there. And I think that's what ruins it for me in terms of trying to keep myself from losing my lunch. It tends to do that and mess with me as I'm starting to look around. And I try to tell myself, don't do that. But I realize, hey, this is an awesome vantage point. Capitalize on it. Go see what you can see. It's neat. So that one messes me up, unfortunately. But my kids like it, so I ride it occasionally. But I hope I didn't lose too many man points on that one. But and hope there won't be a lot of hate mail either.
Yeah, I think it belongs on the list. And when you think of this as a typical spinner ride, you say, well, it's the same as Dumbo. It's the same as the flying or the magic carpets. But it's really not. If I go on the magic carpets of Aladdin, to me, it doesn't seem like you're getting that much up into the air. If I go on Dumbo, I feel like I'm getting some altitude here. But if I go on the Astro Orbiter, I feel like I am way, way up there because the whole ride is elevated. But just very, very much more. So it's not like the same experience just up a few feet. It's like a very different experience. And it may be just what you're saying is that you have a lot more things to look at. I think the fact that you're up higher, it just feels different. It maybe feels a little more exposed. So those three attractions, basically the same thing, but definitely not the same experience. I think Astro Orbiter is really in a different sort of category. I'd
love it if you could be up there when it breaks down. I don't like if it's you're up there and it sits you up there for a second, so you could just stop and look. Not for an extended period of time where you need the astronaut diaper, but 2 minutes just to kind of sit up there and just and soak in the view from up there, because it's an awesome spot to see some of those sites. Yeah,
it does really give you some nice views. But I can see how this one might do some people in.
Yeah.
All right, number 3, Astro Orbiter. Number 4, back over to me. I am going to go to Disney's Animal Kingdom, and I am going to go to Dinoland USA, which is often maligned, but in a very good land. And I'm going to go on Primeval Whirl. So you don't go upside down, and you don't even go faster than 30 miles an hour. But for a minute and a half, you are going to spin and twist and go up and down. And it's one of those where, especially towards the end, you're going up and down and spinning, and you're kind of getting pulled in all these different directions. So I personally like the attraction. I personally like Dinoland. I like the fact that the Primeval Whirl is sort of the kitschy mirror to the Dinosaur. If Dinosaur is the serious attraction, Primeval Whirl is its fun-loving brother. But Primeval Whirl is definitely not one to go on a full stomach, and it's not one if you don't have a stomach of steel like Johnny does. So Primeval Whirl.
I don't know if it's like a fun-loving brother or like a juvenile delinquent third cousin.
Yeah, something like that.
It's such an interesting area over there. I hate to say it, but if somebody announced that they were going to overhaul Dinoland and tear out a lot of that stuff, I don't think I would shed a tear. I think it's I don't like to go over there because of 2 reasons. Number one, the games over there, like the pay to play games, which is unfortunately my kids have done a couple times, and they walk away with tears because they get beat by an older kid. Or the playground, my kids are wildly adventurous, and they just go off. They don't care. Like, we'll catch up with the old man later. And I can't see them. I have no idea where, because that's like it's an awesome playground, but it'd be awesomer if I didn't have 3 kids to chase after.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a cool ride, and it's that's one of those ones that I hear people say that they would love to do more than once, like back to back, just to see like what that experience would be like. And I thought, let's do that one once and then kind of like take it easy for a bit and like maybe go park it on a bench, not like go right back in line and knock it out again a second time. That's like if you're really crazy. But yeah, it's a cool ride. And that's definitely gets the old stomach churning.
It does. Yep. And I think Dinoland is misunderstood. Maybe that'll be a podcast for another day. But number 4, Primeval Whirl. Okay, so number 5, back over to you, Johnny.
Okay, I bet you didn't know this about me, Herb, but I studied French in my younger days, in my youth.
Really? And, so could you give us some examples of your French pronunciation skills?
I think I might. And, it just happens to be something that I want to choose on the list here, which, again, people are going to hear say, are you kidding me? Is this guy for real? So let me give you my entry for the 5th thing on our list here. It is, are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Full-blown French. You ready?
Here we go.
Impressions de France.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, was this graduate level work?
Yeah.
Nice.
That's Rosetta Stone right there.
Nice.
I'm pretty proud of myself.
Nice.
I'm quite the international flair there.
Man of mystery, yes.
Yeah, I speak it like an ugly American. France. I went over there for the first time in a long time. a week ago with my daughter, just me and her, and she'd asked to go see the film. I hadn't seen it probably in 20 years plus. Like, it's been a long time since I've seen it. And she'd been asking about it. And I said, all right, let's go over there, sneak over there real quick, and we'll come right back home and we'll see it and whatever. So I go in there and there's about 8 people in the theater. And just could have been the time of day, whatever. But saw the film, got amazingly sick. Because those 180-degree film jobs that they do, there's a couple of them in Epcot that do that. For some reason, I find myself looking around to see what the other sides are doing, and just the way it's filmed. I don't know if it's like the barrel roll of the camera lens or what it is that does it. Why it's doing that to my eyes and my perception. But I was done watching that film, which was like 18 minutes or something like that. And I was just sick to my stomach. Like, it just did something to me, because you're not looking necessarily like at a fixed point straight ahead. You're moving your head, and the way it's filmed kind of messes with your mind a little bit, messes with your eyes. And I appreciate what they're trying to do there. And again, I probably need to go see a physician. Now that I think about it, like, I probably do have some problems that need to get sorted out. But for some reason, that thing really messed me up. So I thought it'd be perfect to add it to the list, because it's kind of a curveball that would be hate-inducing commentary for the post when it comes on Facebook. Impressions de France.
So I think that's a really interesting choice, and I can't think of another theater presentation where the chairs are firmly screwed into the ground more makes you feel like you're moving than this one. As best I can tell, you're not actually moving, but like you say, whether it's the camera angle, there's a ton of movement in this film, constant. And because the angle of the screen or the curve of the screen is so immersive, you feel like you are moving when you're not. And I think that can probably do a number on you. It's a beautiful film. It's a beautifully made. The music is terrific. I think it's a great chance to see some of the most remarkable landscapes around France. But it could maybe do you in if you're not careful.
And the theater's beautiful too.
Yeah.
It's just, I know it's a little dated in terms of Epcot, but it's a neat little space. Like, it would be nice to just sit there and if we could just maybe go in there with a blindfold on and just listen to the music.
Yeah.
It's such a cool space, and make sure you say it right. It's France. Get that really, you don't want to insult them now, Herb. Come on.
And all the French people said, "Oh, yes."
Yeah. That's why you got to roll there with a Canadian flag on your backpack. They hate us Americans. Butcher their language.
All right, that was number 5. I'm not even going to say it, and I may not even say it in the recap, because I'm afraid now how my pronunciation is going to come across. But
really hit the A. Hit the A hard.
and with your nose, right? With your nose. That's how the people in France like to speak. I understand. So, all right. So number 6, I'm going to go back over to the Magic Kingdom, or go over to the Magic Kingdom, back over. And I'm going to go to Fantasyland, and a quintessential Disney attraction, and one that I think has made more people look like they've had a few alcoholic beverages than others. And I'm talking about the Mad Tea Party. So Mad Tea Party, you can actually find this in a lot of Disney parks. They've got one in Tokyo and in Paris and even in Hong Kong. So one big turntable that goes counterclockwise, and then 3 smaller turntables which go clockwise, and then a teacup that you can do kind of whatever you want to do with. And so add all that up, and it's like being thrown in a blender. Interestingly, when they first put this attraction in Disneyland for the first couple of years, they didn't have any sort of limiter on how quickly you could turn the teacups around. And I think maybe the lawyers learned a few lessons there. So now there are some clutches so that you can't quite go as fast as you might want to go, even if you're a really strong person trying to get your teacup up to speed. So the good news is that you know what you're in for. It's not like this is sort of hidden behind a scene, a big pre-show. You can stand there and look at it and get an idea of, yeah, I think I'm okay for this, or no, I'm not. But the Mad Tea Party, I think, has made a lot of people stumble away and maybe have to take a seat afterwards. It's a good thing there are a lot of raised planter areas, so you've got plenty of places to sit down if you need to after your Mad Tea Party experience.
I was there not that long ago, and one of my buddies was in town, and I don't know how this worked, but somehow we got set up so that the two of us and our kids, so it was me and my son and him and his daughter, were supposed to be sharing the same teacup. And, these teacups aren't Massive Man certified, so just me and my son's enough. But then, him and his daughter, it was a close quarters. And it started spinning around, and I guess he has the same technique that I do, because my kids love this ride. I think they like it just because it tortures me, spinning around like that. But he and I evidently, we found that we had the same technique, was to stare and lock at a single thing and have that be the way that you hopefully prevent from getting sick. Well, what just kind of naturally happened was we just stared at each other, and we were in the middle, and I said to him, "I'm so sorry, man. This is so awkward. I'm so sorry. But you were the thing I locked on." He goes, "I'm sorry, too. I locked on you, too. This is so weird." And we were both like panicking at the same time, and we were apologizing the whole time. Like, the kids are having a great time. We're apologizing, and we're so we're locked in this awkward, staring contest with each other. But the other thing, have you ever noticed this, Herb? The sound that ride makes when the spinning stops.
Oh yes, the screech.
Yeah, it's this, and there's this sound, like it sounds like something's breaking.
Yeah.
Like it's like bang, like this really loud. It almost sounds like the rubber bands that are spinning it snap.
Yeah.
And I hear it, and I go, "Are we okay?" Like I've been on it a million times, but I still have that same reaction. Is everything all right?
Yeah.
And it's still it's unsettling. It's an unsettling sound. But I guess they realize that, there's a lot of stuff they could spend money on. Putting a silencer on whatever that thing is probably isn't high on the priority list.
No, I think you're right. That's part of the experience, really. So it probably gives you a jump at the end, so you know that it's about to come to its finish.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully you're not coming to your finish when you hear that noise.
Yep. Wow. Okay. So this was a fun list, and hopefully listening to the podcast didn't make anybody sick, but this is the top 6 Disney World attractions that might make you sick. Number 1, Kilimanjaro Safaris. Number 2, Mission Space. 3, Astro Orbiter. 4, Primeval Whirl. 5, Impressions de France. And,
nailed it.
Oh, thank you. I actually practiced before we recorded. And then number 6 was the Mad Tea Party. So, Johnny, good list. Hopefully we'll help some people from ruining a little section of their vacation from not feeling so well. At least you can be prepared now if you want to go on one of these. So it was a good discussion. So is there anything that you'd like to share with the listeners, how they can follow you, get more info about what you're up to?
I've got a challenge.
Okay.
I got a challenge for the listeners. I need help. I have been really having a hard time, and I'll admit I haven't spent a whole lot of time looking, but I can't seem to find a really solid answer on how this works. And maybe somebody listening can help and figure out what's going on here. Disney has this little tiny thing that they don't really talk about, but I see the truck every now and then drive past my neighborhood. And this big 18-wheeler is decorated on the sides with a really cool picture of Mickey and Minnie and all the gang in a farm setting. And they're working on their crops. And on the side of it says Disney Harvest. All I can figure out is they're doing something where they're supporting local food banks. But I'm curious. Can someone unravel the story of how that works and what goes into helping out with the local community with the food banks and everything they're doing with Disney Harvest? Because it's not like it's not something that they talk about in the parks. It's not like, how in Disney's Animal Kingdom, you can like add an extra $1 to your ticket in some of the stores or the restaurants to help for conservation efforts with what Disney does. They don't talk about this anywhere that I've seen. So I'd be curious. I'm just interested to know what the story is with Disney Harvest and how it works and where the food comes from and where it goes. So hit up Herb, and Herb knows how to find me, and see what we can come up with there. I'm curious.
Wow, I've actually seen that semi before. Not too often, but I have seen it. I always figured it was just the way they brought in the soy lecithin and the corn syrup for all the things that they make in the parks. But it probably is up to doing something positive for the community, and I'd love to hear about it. So it would be good to know.
The red dye number 5 or whatever. Yeah.
That's my favorite, yeah.
Yeah, I'd be interested to hear. I'm sure there's got to be somebody who listens to your podcast who knows what's going on with that. And I think we need to kind of give it a little air and let everybody know what they're doing. Because when I hear somebody doing something cool like that in the community, and they're kind of secretive about it or don't really want a lot of publicity or don't want to really get a lot of praise for it, that to me is cool. Like that's just, you're doing it because you're doing something because it's the right thing to do, not because you're trying to get someone to pat you on the back. Then I'm really interested in what you're up to.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Yeah. So folks, if you know what Disney Harvest is all about and that big semi, let me know, and I will be sure to pass on the info to Johnny. Johnny, as always, it was a blast. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Herb. I always have fun doing it, so I really appreciate the opportunity to hang out with you and talk on the podcast.
Today we head out to the music of Mission Space, and we have made it through the list of the top 6 Walt Disney World attractions that might make you sick. However, our conversation isn't over. I'd like to hear what you think. You can add to the list and see what other folks think by visiting the show notes page at worldofwalt.com/115. It's a page that works nicely for your tablet, desktop, and smartphone. I'd like to thank everyone who's been in touch, and I'd like to invite you to follow me on social media. Facebook.com/worldofwalt and Pinterest.com/worldofwalt. If you like today's podcast, I would appreciate it if you would spread the word. Tell your family and your friends about it. To wrap up for today, as always, a big thank you for spending some of your time with me. I'd also like to thank everyone who visits the worldofwalt.com site, where you can read interesting Disney articles and chat with other folks who like Disney in the comments sections. By listening here and by visiting this site, you allow me to share the fun of Disney with you, and that is very cool. Thank you so much for being a part of it. So until next time, my friend, may God bless you.
So there's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow shining at the end of every day.